gonna do a oh. That's why I'm getting so chubby fairly, is that I'm drinking malt liquor, which is liquid fat, and eat a puppy a day, which is also like liquid fat. But I'm still thinking about retirement, say 10 years from now or more. Well, I know what retirement tastes like. It tastes like Mickey's. It's Ivan, by the way, the puppy. And there's the belly. They're still working it out. Oh, retirement. Okay, so the Kung Fu retirement plan. I was thinking that there's a bunch of different circumstances where that wouldn't be feasible, but there's circumstances where that could be closer to a reality. Let's say I buy 10 acres, and the 5 acres near the road has a house, barn, garage, utility shed, whatever. I rent that out, and which I understand it has some drawbacks, but I think I just, like anybody else, I just do the best I can and try to find somebody that would be responsible and a joy to have on the property. So 5 acres, maybe it'd be a farmer or somebody want to do a micro farm or something, or run a small business. A small business is a good idea if it's zoned for that. But the other 5 acres would be like a woodlot, basically like 5 acres of trees. And in those trees, I would build a yurt. I'd make a yurt for Irma and the dogs and the emu. Because I'm making a deal with B2M to buy their emu. I really like that emu. And okay, so then I'm so essentially I'd be living on my own property, other than the investment and some management. It'd pay for itself with the rent, and then that would allow me to live more of a hiking lifestyle. And Irma really likes yurts and small cabins and things like that. And then we could have a garden or not as we see fit, or but then we'd have an opportunity to do bike tours and long hiking trips along the Pacific Crest Trail, the Appalachian Trail, or any other trail that you might need to name. And then if I was just thinking, like, what would happen if one of us were hurt, and we needed a place to stay where we would like, you might need to convalesce for whatever reason. Then you'd have a yurt not too far away from resources of society, which the Kung Fu retirement plan doesn't allow for a lot. I mean, in my mind, I could imagine how it could work. It'd be a lot of work, and I imagine the rewards. So if I was going to hedge my bet and have a Shaolin Temple retirement plan, live a life of simplicity and simple eating and simple pleasures, reading and exercise and exploring and bicycling, with little to no possessions. Yeah. I think that's my new that's the Shaolin Temple retirement plan. I guess I'll call that. Not a lot's been going on, really. Actually, I was just thinking that my last vacation was Burning Man, and I'm not going this year, unfortunately. Maybe next year, I hope. It'd be nice to go on motorbike, because we waited 11 hours in line, like 5 hours to get in and 6 hours to leave. And if you arrive on motorbike, you just go right in. No one expects you to sit on a motorbike for 5 hours until the cooling fan or whatever gets choked full of playa dust and dies. No one expects you to sacrifice your motorbike for the line. So I have a vacation coming up. Oh, I guess I do have something new to report. I'm going to dismantle the tiny house, and probably use it for it's more of its function for it, like a utility trailer. But I'm been really thinking about like tiny house Mach 2 or Mark 2. I don't know. Mach 2 is I guess speed. Like, you know, ultra lightweight, really pare down the utility, because I built in storage and that thing, like it had a lot of usages and things that I built into it that later I realized I spent 75% of my time or more just in the bedroom area. So most of the time I spent was in a cubicle that was 4.5 feet tall and 6 feet long and 6 feet wide. So I spent almost all my time in that tiny little chamber. Yeah, like taking that into consideration, the tiny house was way too big. Oh, look. Don't. No. I was telling Irma, absolutely everything we own is going to get chewed up. And he's going to be... No! Here, give me that. I'm moving everything into the garage. Everything I own is going into the garage. Irma can have her stuff chewed. I'll leave it, Akila. Leave it, buddy. Oh. Yeah, I have good ideas for the tiny house part 2. Though I think I'm going to buy Tiny Yellow House by Derek Diedrichsen. Derek Diedrichsen. He has a YouTube channel, and he's awesome. So I think I'm going to buy his book for some inspiration, also to support him and the tiny house movement. And I don't know, I just think that, like, it'd be fun to have something that he put a lot of work into on my bookshelf. What else? Oh, I went on a really excellent bike ride. Kind of wish I could have filmed it, but it was like the longest bike ride I've been on in a while, and I just kind of wanted to enjoy it. And the mountain bike I bought, it just works wonderful. I'm so happy with it. I told the salesman, and I'll tell you, and I'll probably repeat this again in the future, but I really felt graceful on it. Sometimes a bike, like, you'll ride a bunch of bikes, and they all say that, you know, this bike is this size or something like that, but like with different components and bars and crank lengths, like, it's just like a half-inch this way, a half-inch this way. Suddenly, like, you'll like get on a bicycle and feel like it's an extension of you. And I've only encountered that once before, and I feel like I'm encountering it on this bike. I think I'm a little rusty, so like as my skills, I start to regain my skills. We'll see if it continues to match as I improve my ability. But Irma and I want to go take a bike trip on the Banks for Nonia bike trail. Some of you might have seen that. I did a video on that for I think my 400 sub video. It was with that trestle, that wooden trestle. Oh, actually, I've done a couple of videos there actually. I guess the one video where I was biking and people were giving me a hard time for not wearing a helmet. But that's a long disused railroad line that I think it'd be a blast to go do some more biking on that. Wow, 9 minutes. 9 minutes of gold. A while back I made that video about Ebony, about that bully I was dealing with, and I think the video did the job. 'Cause I think, here's the thing, this person was attacking me constantly because one of my crew insulted, one of the people I play with insulted her, and the actual, the account that I was using was one of his old accounts, so I kind of suspect that even though I told her that I wasn't the guy that insulted her, I think that she suspected I really was. And so I think that when I said I just made a YouTube video of you, I think she went and looked at it and said, oh, that's not the guy. And just my righteous indignation over her interfering with my free gameplay. I must have communicated it well, because I mean, she scouted me a couple times, and I think she took a couple valleys away from me, but that's definitely part of the game. Unceasing attacks is not part of the game. That's just when you're being, like, you know, over the top aggressive, too aggressive. I remember reading stories where one army would give the signal for no quarter, and the other army would go, God, really? That's how you want to play that? You know, the whole idea that we're not going to take a break to care for our dead, or save our wounded, or eat and gather strength. Like the whole idea that an army would say, you know what, I think we're just going to make this as bloody as possible. And there would be, like, you know, a reception of, like, what? You know, because I guess that's more along my lines. But I think of a war game. I think that you have plenty of opportunity to fight, but the whole idea that you should need to have sportsmanship, even in war. The whole idea that I remember somebody said that if such and such army did this, the great hiss of the world would be directed at them. You know, where you think about your reputation as a person or a fighting force or a country, and you're like, well, I could win the battle this way, but I don't want the world to hiss at me. I appreciate that. I think that society has lost a lot of its social contracts. I think as there's more and more of us, we start losing our social contracts. You know, things that we kind of like are almost unspoken agreements on civilized behavior. Puppy check. Well, you know, I guess at this point in time, I'm almost out of time. Just kind of rambled. I'll give a shout out to Hstrung. He's so funny. Actually, you know what? My next tribute vid isn't going to be on, like, great drinkers or fascinating YouTubers. I think it's going to be. I think I might just pick, like, a handful of people of YouTubers I'd go camping with. And Hstrung, shout out to you, sir. I'd go camping with you. And I might even bring my horse, because I understand my horse would have a good time. Alright, well, you know, malt liquor, follow me on Twitter, you know, if you like. I actually have a Twitter account. And I'll see you in the tubes. Oh, we gotta go out with a good shot of Mickey's. Oh, yes. Oh, Mickey's malt liquor, you're such a fine malt liquor. 24 ounces of electric green awesomeness. You taste like freedom and retirement on property. Oh, Mickey's, I could drink you all day.